Hey there YouTube, this is Elite Master, and it's time to raise your flag as we take a look at the 1/44 scale high grade Graze from Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. Now this is the Graze as it appeared in episode 1 near the end of Iron-Blooded Orphans, which is an amazing show. I highly recommend people to watch it. And this is it in its 1/44 scale, well, iteration. There is a 1/100 scale coming out, which is more of like a large no grade, a large high grade with an inner frame, which this one also has. We bring in another Graze body here, and as you see that, dropped it. But the Graze here has a almost full internal frame, with the exception of the feet and the back of the hands, and the head has a bit of it, but like it's really only the front gray piece here. Without the back, it doesn't hold on. So this is the full internal frame of the Graze. Put that back. Now then, let's go over the Graze's colors, and it does come in quite a few. We have this standard like green, I guess, like army green, and then a darker forest green, and you have a very nice shade of gray for the inner joints and whatnot, and this lighter gray that goes along the cables here, and it's also underneath this yellow sticker right here, which, by the way, let's go over stickers. It does have one big yellow sticker right here, two yellow stickers that go on either side of this part of the chest, a yellow sticker on the face, and if you open up the head, there is a yellow sticker inside for the camera, which I'm certain is just a camera because we haven't seen it actually do anything in the show. And you can open it like in the show, sort of. You just kind of have to like finagle it around, and there you go. The camera is now exposed. I'm sure it'll work a lot better on the 1/100 scale, because on this one it's just kind of blah. It doesn't work all that well. Now then, for this kit's articulation, it is actually really nice. It has a double ball joint for the neck, so I can move forward and back. You can look up a bit, down, really far. You can fold the head back in like that. It has a little bit of tilt. It can rotate. Not all the way, because it'll pop off, and also the shape of the head and the massive collar on the back. The arms have a joint in it that moves forward and back like that. There is a ball joint that can hinge up and down at that joint like there. The ball joint itself can rotate and wiggle. The armor is on a hinge that can move up and down. So is the arm. So all together it can move up that far. Has a rotation at the bicep. Can bend at one joint at the elbow, bends pretty far. This arm guard right here can rotate separately, and the hand is on a ball joint that can rotate and wiggle. Now then, we have a torso joint here that can move that far forward, this far forward, that far back, so very good ab crunch here. The waist itself is on a ball joint that can wiggle around a bit. And the side skirts are actually hinged onto the waist, so they can move up and they can rotate a bit on the polycap. But the way that they're connected, you can't really get much rotation out of the hips here. And they're on this joint here in the back, this gray bar that can move up and down, rotate separately. The front skirts are not on ball joints, they are on a hinge that is molded together, but you can separate them. I haven't on this kit yet, but they do move forward like so, and the hips can move forward, backwards, in and out, rotate, and he's got a very nice deep double jointed knee with some separating armor bits, which looks really good. No movement in the back skirt. And the ankles are actually really nice. There's this piece of armor right here that can rotate and wiggle around on a ball joint. And there's a hinge on the inside ankle right there that can rock back and forth, and a ball joint at the actual foot. Now that ball joint is the same ball joint that's usually in the shoulder joints of the torso for most high grades, and I would have thought that would have given it a little bit more forward movement, but it doesn't. So a bit of a shame. It can move back and forth, rotate a bit, and combined with that ankle joint, it can tilt that far in, so it has a very good wide stance. And then that does it for this kit's articulation. It is very nice. Most of the I.B.O kits so far have been. Now then, for his accessories, he has quite a bit as well. He has, along with the standard head, he has a version of the head with a commander fin. So if you want to have a commander's graze, then you can do that. You have these back-mounted thrusters for the ground type graze. They can move at this joint here and at this joint here, and they have a thruster there. Now then, this thing uses these two pegs. Just peg into the back skirt right there, and it pegs in. It's a little loose, but not too terribly loose. So, and that's how it looked in the first episode. I had the butt thrusters here going on. You can pull those off, and if you wanted to make the space type graze, you get these pieces, which can rotate here. They're the same type of thruster unit, just that they're on these little brackets here, these individual ones, and they will plug into those holes on the back. And this is my preferred version of the graze, the space type graze. And that's my preferred look. I do like the little butt thruster things, but I prefer the back thrusters. I think they look cooler. And those pegs do allot them some different articulation. They can move in and out a bit, as well as forward and back. Now then, as for weaponry, it does have the Graze's machine gun. And it's very nice. It has these pieces that can come out, which I like to imagine are like ammo packs, and it's got two of them. And the way that it's also got a moving handle here. The way that the Graze holds it is, you pull this piece off, you feed the handle into the hand, like so. Then you take this piece, and there's a slot right here in the arm guard that will slot into, as it slots into the gun. And it'll hold the gun in place nice and secure, not going anywhere. The biggest problem I have with the Graze is it can't do a good, like, one of these poses here. You can kind of finagle the gun in there, but it doesn't look that good from pretty much every angle. So that's a bit of a disappointment with the movable handle, but I don't have it holding it that way anyway. It does also come with a axe. It's not a heat axe, it's just a big ass axe. Just a blunt melee weapon. And that can peg onto either skirt using the pegs here, and it can hold it without any effort. And that is pretty neat. That's all the accessories that the Graze comes with. The gun, the axe, and the different booster pods, and the alternate headpiece. And that's pretty much all you really need with the standard release of the Graze. There are option parts that came out that you can use with the Graze, but I will go over those at a later date. Well, yeah, as is, this is pretty cool. I do love the way that this looks. And one more thing, you can use the parts from the Graze, the shoulders parts specifically, on the Barbados. I'm only going to do one shoulder, so what you need to do is you take the shoulder off of the Graze and you separate it right there, and you pull out this gray piece, and you can put the shoulder back together, and like that, it will peg onto the Barbados using that peg right there. And that is the Barbados with the Graze's shoulder on it. It can move up and down, just like the normal Barbados's shoulders. And in the anime, it had 2 of these, and it was painted white and blue, which I might end up doing if I'm going to buy another Graze to get the regular shoulders here. And I'll get another Barbados, and I'll do a Barbados version 3 with the Schwalbe launcher too. But yeah, that is cool. I do like the cross compatibility here with the main character mech. It is a bit of a pain that you have to disassemble the entire shoulder armor set in order to use this little feature. It's a little annoying. If I assemble it right, it'll be less annoying. But it's neat nonetheless. It's cool that it can do it. I just wish that it would be a lot simpler. And also doing that just takes the shoulder away from the Graze, making it look naked, so you'd have to be prepared to have a incomplete looking Graze. Anyway, let's put this in its side skirt. Since I already have it here, let's do a little comparison with the Barbados, whatever you want to pronounce it as. And they do look really nice together. Barbados is very slim and very lanky, but the Graze here is very efficient looking. I love the design of the Graze. It's one of my favorite new grunt suits. It is a little difficult to align everything right here in the chest because of how much range this torso joint has. Like, optimally you want it to be like right there, but it'll go down or go up farther than you need it to. And it makes the torso look a little weird. But that's not a big problem. But yeah, that was the Graze. It is a very, very cool model kit. It is not very expensive at all. Fairly cheap. I do recommend it highly. Highly recommend the Graze here. If you're not that interested in the I.B.O series, if you don't like the Barbados, that's fine. But we can all agree that the Graze looks freaking amazing. That was the Elite Master, everybody, and I will see you all at the next video.